there, everybody. Welcome to the Multiculturalist. My name's James, and we got, guess what? Shadowdark here. It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's to everybody, and happy holidays, and hope everyone had a good Christmas, a Hanukkah, or whatever holiday you happen to be celebrating at the moment. I got this in the mail, and I'm so hyped to actually unopen this. I remember backing this way back in the day for Kickstarter, and then getting the whole set, so what we should have is actually Shadowdark, a screen, I think a couple of cursed zines, so they're little zines, and we're going to be doing some comparisons back and forth with other TTRPGs that I have in terms of size and what we're getting. It's not a huge box, and you can see that everything fits pretty compartmentalized in it. Let's see how big the box is when we get it. The box itself that was sent is about 2.5 inches in terms of depth, then 10.5 inches when in terms of width, and then length it has 13 inches. Interesting enough. All right, so unboxing. Let's look at this. All right, taking this. All right, look at this. What do we have first? It looks like we have... Is this an adventure? Oh, this is so interesting. The Twisting Cave of Pale Ones. That's really interesting. Check that out. Twisting Cave of Pale Ones. Flashing white demons whirl in night caves fitted with coffers and pirate gold inside. That's so interesting. So it has its own map, and it has random encounters. Already talking about, I guess these are the random encounters that... Oh, no, these are the random encounters that you can roll a d4 for. And then it gives you a little key here for the location. So the trap falling net. So there's the trap there, and there's another trap there. And then you have sting bats. That's really exciting. So let's see what's in this just momentarily before we go further into our Shadowdark exploration. And we have the north, so north compass. Oh, okay. So this is actually really interesting. I want to point this out. This is not normal paper that this is on. So this almost feels like plastic, or not plastic. It feels like it's so smooth. It's super, super smooth. God, I want to say plastic or something like that, but it's not paper. This actually isn't paper, and I actually kind of love that. So these are. And what I think is really nice, okay, the Hidden Leprechaun Hollow. I think these are just one-off adventures. Sanctum of the Elephant God. God, I love that. Eroding Isle of the Executioner. Wavestone Monolith. But one of the things that I love about these is that these are just short quests. You get them in, and you get in and out. And the thing about Shadowdark that I forgot to mention, what Shadowdark, from my understanding of everybody else having talked about this, elaborates and then extends that. You then have rules putting on top of it so that people can enjoy it a bit more fruitfully in the modern age of enjoying the OSR. So whereas you have high mortality rates in old school Renaissance, you also have these issues with the mage, or wizard class rather, where there's not that much that you can do with them. You're only given, I think, 1 or maybe 2 spells maximum. I think it's usually 1 spell, and then that's it if you're level 1. But with Shadowdark, I think some of these changes come about, and it's not just simply a 1 spell, 1-time use when you're then playing Shadowdark. You're actually exponentially expanding on that. Okay, so I love that. And what the great thing is that you just quickly make a character, you get into it, you start playing, and you start finding treasure, just like you would with an old school game. And these are just so great. I wasn't even expecting these. And immediately, they're just encounters. Oh, hey, you heard about an encounter over here. Go to the Hidden Leprechaun Hollow, and then see what's there. And you got to survive because, again, high mortality rate. You don't necessarily have to fight everything, and you're immediately jumping into the action. I love this. It's just so, it's not overly complicated. You get good map keys on here. It's a fantastic way to open up. In any case, I will put this on top. And again, they're not paper. They're this kind of plastic material that I'm really loving. Ooh, what is this? Ooze cubes. Oh, are these the monsters? Oh, that's so badass. Oh, this looks like a very Cthulhian monster here. Ooze cubes. I'm actually going to be super hyped if all of these come out and turn out to be as a matter of fact. Oh my, I think they are. I think they're all the same material. I am a fan of this material so much. So it's not easy to bend. It's not easy to break. It's not overly thick. But that's one of the reasons I like this. So you got ooze cubes, crabtrosity. Wait, I got to see what these looks like. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this art. This is beautiful. This is beautiful line art. Look at this. I'm so impressed with this. Heck. Oh my God. I was actually just going to kind of say, okay, let's get through these. Oh my God, we got to take some time for the art, bruh. Look at this. Crabtrosity. What a fantastic name. All right. And I love that there's different treasure that you could get from it, too, on a D20 thing. The randomization, the randomness of everything, the easygoing, hey, you might die, you might not, but you get something random. Just try your luck and see if you can survive the next encounter. The lighthearted feel of all this, it makes it feel like something like OSR and D&D is super approachable. And it's just something like, hey, you got a couple of minutes to play D&D? Oh, yeah, sure, I'll just draw it up. And you don't have to think of an overarching character that then has some kind of dramatic conclusion at the end. This, however, just says, hey, it's a game. Hey, you're probably going to die. Just admit it. Oh, I love this crap. God. Never poo-poo line art, man. I think I used to not have as strong an opinion or as strong an affinity for line art previously because I always like anything with color in it. But my God, it's just so evocative. Mazim the Mesmerist, or Mazim. I want to say Mazim. Mazim the Mesmerist. Okay. Let's see what his... Look at that. Look at that. Mazim the Mesmerist. I love how it just draws you in, and it's pretty clear like what it's trying to do with the character archetype. This is somebody who's then going to enchant you, and yep, enchanting is on here. Brain eaters. I bet this is maybe something like the I'm trying to remember the names of them. They're not called brain eaters, but they're. Oh wait, no, I just saw this on the back. This is the Cthulhu monster. So this is essentially, this is so eerie, awkward, and beautiful in its line art. So what is this? So this is obviously supposed to be the Mind Flayer. I was going to say I thought it was going to be the, not brain, what do you call those brain things that came into the Intellect Devourer? That's right, an Intellect Devourer from D&D. Ooh, like this. Oh, are these the pre-gens? One of the things that I like about this is that there are pre-generated characters. Yeah, they're the pre-gens. And again, I can't tell you how much I love the feel, the fact that this texture is not just paper. It's not just cardboard. It's a very specific type of material that just goes really well with it. Oh, feel this. And so you got this immediately. All right, so this is Mirinwa Torbi. Interesting. And what kind of character is this? It's a female character. Orc character. Really like that. Love the line art there. Ooh la la. And then let's see. You then have, who's this? This is Mirinwa Torbi? Wait. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. This is Mirinwa Torbi. And this is supposed to be a cleric, I'm assuming. Ancestry, class priest. So this is a priest. And I love not only the line art. You can just put this up and this is your character, but you also get this as your, God, I love that there's just such an evocative, that it's not just simply standing in one place for a profile picture, as though a photographer told you to stand and then take some nice shots standing. That there's an actual action of a scene happening with the characters here. That's really cool. Then what else was happening? They're an acolyte, lawful, so they're priest. Okay, they are the priest. The half-orc. Oh, wait, I forgot. Do they do the Shadowdark do the class/race/? Oh, no. Yes, yeah, they did. I think Shadowdark does split up the races and the species or /ancestries from classes themselves. So this is a thief. They are a thief in there. And it makes sense. They are very thiefy. They look like they got a dagger and very light in terms of what they're wearing. And that is what? Sid of Zulara. Jasper the Reem. Jasper of Ream. Okay. Jasper the Ream. Ream what? And then it's they're a fighter. Oh, that's a badass look. Look at that. Look at that beautiful fucking musculature. Dude, that's so... Dude, what a stud. Look at this guy. Wow, right? He's like a Conan, just waiting in the cave. I waited for you. Cue romance music here. Oh, man. Morgatha, you. I'm loving how there's all these very... I feel like I haven't seen some of these arts for some of these characters. They're a wizard. The previous one was a human fighter. Grumby Billow. So obviously that's a halfling. That's such a good halfling name. And they're a fighter. I love that. Oh, Grumby's just a little bit... He's a little bit scared. And I like that they evoke an implied kind of personality with them too. Thorin Gendry. Thorin. That's a very dwarf name. And we know that from... and he's a wizard. Oh my god. Look how epic this is. I wouldn't have guessed that he was a wizard. I would have thought he was a fighter or something like that. Look at this. Thorin. Just like from Bilbo Baggins' adventure into the Cave Undermountain, or the Undermountain, where it was... trying to remember what it was. That was the Hobbit, right. Sneech. And he's a goblin. I'm so happy they have goblins here. One of the things that I am actually happy that was included within Pathfinder when I started looking through them was goblin as an ancestry or species that you could be. And they are priest, interestingly enough. Neato. Borg Barrelbite. Dwarf Thief. I like how some of the art is just so charming and evocative of what you're trying to do here. You're going down into a dungeon, you're trying to get stuff, your treasures, and then you might die along the way. Elias the Exiled, an elf. Interesting. Oh, he looks much more cunning than I thought he was going to be for an elf. So yeah, this is a fairly roguish elf. Makes sense seeing as how he's a thief, but very exciting. And I like how there's the dotting to give this kind of grungy feel to the black and white art of it all. Human wizard, Gargesh. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh my god, he looks epic. He looks like he's out of the stars, like he just came, like he's an eldritch wizard with this claw. Why is his elbow so jacked? Bruh, you were exercising the wrong body part on fucking arm day. What happened, bruh? Gargesh, a human wizard. God, I love it though. His alignment's neutral, interestingly enough. I would have thought it was going to be chaotic. Oh, by the way, chaotic, and then I think chaotic, and I think, what was the other one? Orderly, lawful. Chaotic and lawful are supposed to be like evil and good, essentially, in the OSR scene. So that's what this is. A squire, and he's a human fighter. Oh, she's a human fighter, sorry. Theria Dagos. Dagos kind of reminds me of like the, I forgot what I was going to say. Game of Thrones. Calgor Lorwyn. A human priest. Amazing. And that's what we saw in the beginning. I love that everything seems somewhat grim and darky. Just because it's not completely all... it's not a bed of roses. Let me put it that way. And that's just so exciting because you get a priest, but they're like a dark priest with a mace and clubs and spikes on it, so they might have to actually just deal mortality out to the other person. That's so awesome. And the zines, we have cursed scrolls. That's what these are called. Ooh la la. And I love how they then make use of everything here. I love that they're using an Arabian character or an Arabesque character here. Ruins, pit fights, perilous adventures. Desert sorcerers, bandits, lost treasure. Sounds exciting. And yeah, so there's in a dead bandit's hand you find. So this already gives you like and I'm wondering, is this the same material as before? Okay, no, this is a slightly different material. So here's the thing. I think the covers, are they? They're not, the covers of the zines are not exactly the same as these. These feel slightly thicker to me. I might be wrong about that. No, they do. These feel slightly thicker to me, and they feel like a similar material. The outside pages, whatnot. But the inside is straight up normal paper. which makes sense. I mean, you want to be able to flip these. These are just one sheet, and so it makes sense you want to have that flexibility within paper. Kind of hard to do that if it's a little bit more stiff, you know? But this is number 2. And I love that they have very specific locations on the inside of it. I feel like I should do like a whole zine day for anything else that I'm doing, because I remember I got these zines for Old School Essentials, and they're really cool too. Second issue, they got content zine. There's an introduction. And they have characters, a Desert Rider class, neat. A Pit Fighter, Rasgodai class. I don't know what that is. Is it kind of assassin? Rasgodai. Interesting. Rasgodai. Wonder if that's like a combination of Arabic and Japanese as names. Gameplay. Ooh, we got our pit fighters there. Pit fighting! Pit fighting's introduced with here. That's so cool. Pit fighting encounters. A Thraxis Arena. So then, let's see, tonight's crowd. And you get to then roll random ones for the crowd. That's fantastic. One of the things that I like about the randomness, by the way, it makes a kind of neutrality for the game master, whomever is then running the game. Plus, it also keeps it interesting for the game master. You know, when you have to read an adventure beforehand and you know everything that's going to happen, it can get a little bit dull and just simply samey for you and say, like, yep, well, okay, there's this part and they're not going to get to this part, but I know what's over there. So if you have to roll on random tables, it keeps the DM, or the GM in this case, on their feet. The Jurorun Hex Key, Saltstone Tower, Canyon Maze. Oh, this is so interesting. And then you have monsters, too. Camel! We got a camel. Dune Fiend, horse, a war horse. Dust Devil, Mirage Hero, Donkey, Canyon Ape. Raskodai, so I'm assuming these are like black-garbed assassins in demon masks. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, the Rookie. Nice. Oh, I just came along for this. Oh my god, bruh, look at this. Tell me you're not in love with that dragon. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Look at how elegant. It has like this really nice curved shape all around it, like multiple S, like 2 S's. Oh my god. And then compared in contrast with the ruggedness, the edges, the angularness, and hard contrast of the shadows of this mountain it's on. Or just Mountain Peak, I'll say that. God, if that was a mountain, this is like a world-ending dragon then. War Scrag, Cyril. 10 monitor lizards. Oh, Scrag is a monitor lizard. Okay. The Scourge. The Scourge thrives and screams in constant pain. It's, oh my god. Its brass lapis scales are choked with sickly green patina. Blue lightning snaps and coils around. Air around it fell from wherever it flies. I wonder if this is supposed to be the Scourge then. Swallowed the Shield of the Lich King. I feel maybe this is supposed to be the Scourge, because that's the reference. It. Fortress of the Burning Brother. Oh god, this is so MORKborg. By the way, that's one of the things that I have here. MORKborg. See? It's such this reminds me so much of the the beginning page just right out of here. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh. I love the dark light humorousness of it all. And there's 9 Fortress. And god, I got to get through 2 more. Okay, we got to go for it. I'll do a whole thing on this later. This is just I'm so mesmerized by all this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this, guys. Here's the thing. I got to get through the zines first so that I can get to the main book eventually. Okay, so let me go back to number 1 first. All right. Spells, monsters, adventure, witches, warlocks, cursed knights. I love how just direct it is. And again, a collection of ideas, diabolical treasure. I love that the random tables are so fun. You keep it fresh. You gotta keep it fresh. Diabolical Travel, Carved Bone, Pickled Imp. A Black Candle causes pain, disgust, and fake creatures. Unholy Symbol. A Bag of Teeth. God, so much of this actually is very much like MORKborg, too. I feel. And you got your Hex Crawl here in case you want to have that. That's fantastic. I love that. The Gloaming, a miniature Hex Crawl featuring rumors, encounters, and encounter zones. I love that this is a thing. It's just a miniature. It's a miniature world ready to go. And you don't have to do a tremendous amount of work. A lot of it is just make a random table generator and then go from there. Welcome to the first issue of Curl Scroll. Everything in Zines. Okay, so Gloaming Encounters Introduction. Knight of St. Idris class. That's an interesting one. Warlock class, witch class, titles, patrons, patron boons, diabolical backgrounds, diabolical mishaps. So we gotta love those. That's always a great thing. Which spell list, spells, the gloaming, monsters, and then etc. etc. Okay. So, oh my god, look at this. This is what so things like this is like really intense because of the close up on the eye here, and then this kind of, I guess they're casting maybe a fire spell or something like that. And it looks like I love how it looks like there's secretive writing here. Like you could confuse this or just interpret this as being the hair of the person there. But to me, I love learning languages, in case you can't tell. Multiculturalist here. I love learning languages in different scripts. This to me almost looks like a script that's coming out of the fire itself. And I just thought that's such a cool idea, because I remember that being part of the one of the zines for Old School Essentials, and that was the very first zine. It was the Carcass Crawler, and there's somebody who, this kind of like maid that had an outfit, and then you could see this Futhark writing coming out of like a book or a scroll or something she had. It was really cool. Okay, characters. Knight of St. Idris class. Cursed Knights. Okay, so they're Cursed Knights. Love it. Warlock class. Oh, damned for all eternity. Oh, this looks so badass. And so like, oh my god. So, okay, so you have guts literally dripping out of here and then into this cup. Maybe a horned cup for this Warlock class. God, that's so menacing. A Witch class. Nice black cat. Fairly realistic, too. Titles. Warlock titles, Witch titles. Oh, I love that. So then you can have you're a corrupt knight. Judge, Oathbreaker, Sister... Oh, these are for different sizes. Sorry, you are a judge, you are a brother or sister, you are an oathbreaker. Warlock titles for different, whether you're lawful, chaotic, or neutral. Channeler, and occultist. Eminent, that's a great word. Prophet, hag, conjurer. They're great. Great. Patrons, and then then different patrons you can have for the warlocks, patron boons. Then all this other stuff. Let's see, diabolical backgrounds, magic. Mishaps. Okay, well, let's see a mishap. Diablerie, just like in, what was it? Vampire the Masquerade. Roll twice and combine both effects. Reroll any of the further ones. All right. Then let's see. Spells. Alter Self, Anathema, Augury, Broomstick. So new spells to play with. Love that. Well, because we got new spell casting classes, so that makes sense. A Pindall. Love that. It looks so like evil Raggedy Andy. Oh, and this looks like it's using the Hanya mask from Japanese, no drama here. Then, let's see. Puppet scrying. I guess that's supposed to be scrying. A shadow dance. Got a brain there. Oh my god, these are really demented rats. I love how the jaws are extended. Like, they look starved, even though they have, like, meat on their bodies. And they look ravenous. They look feral. Gloaming hex key. Monsters. Bogthorn, Bittermold, Mutant Catfish, Marrowfiend, Mudblug, Skrell, Plugrin, a Goblin Scrappy Raptor. Oh, that's interesting. Hideous Halls of Muglub. So it's a location, there's factions, and then the areas 1 through 33. Ancient Fountains, Skeleton Keys, and tons of stuff there. Oh, I love this. And we have something like a Gibbering Mouther here, or something very similar to it, where it's an eldritch, Cthulhian, or Lovecraftian being. So join the dark. All right, and then, and ask for joining the Shadowdark community. Ruins of Bittermold Keep. So exciting. And it's much more expansive here, too. I love this. I love how all of this is just, it's so encompassing for not only extra classes that you can play in different scenarios here, but it then brings up a small world for you to play in with all the different kinds of random tables that you can roll again and then just be a part of. Okay, Curse Zine number 3. A collection of ideas from Shadowdark. Sea wolf plunder from the distant lands. A holy symbol of a silver lion on thin braided chain. Oh, that's interesting. 6 hefty burnished gold candlestick holders. That's nice. A heavy statue of an angel cast from pure gold. I love that. Okay, so then let's look at here. Cursed Scroll number 3. And again, oh, that's nice. We got islands this time, so we can do island hopping from place to place. Now you get there from either a boat or maybe flying or who knows, maybe teleportation of one sort or another. So then let's see this. Okay. We have the encounters, and a lot of this seems to be the same. So what do we got? A sea wolf, so kind of like a Viking class, I'm assuming. Seer class, so maybe kind of like a prophet. Nordic backgrounds, Nordic names, the old gods. Oh, that's so cool. I'm really glad. It's so interesting. It's so interesting that there's such a... Oh, love this. This is so epic. That's like a... Well, it's very Spartan-like, but I love how dark it all is on that page. It gives the vibe immediately of, like, harshness of mortality, of just being there and needing to be there. Sea wolf class, yep. Seafaring raiders who prowl the islands for plunder and dragon-headed longboats. Yep, so Vikings. Okay. And then a seer class, let's see. Baleful diviners who reek smoke and blood. They untangle the whispers of the gods. Interesting. So basically, yeah, it seems like you're almost like a prophet as a class or something like. But you are a kind of fortune teller, or rather, you see the future in things like bones or maybe soup or something like that. Titles, Nord background. Love this. Nord names. Okay. Audun. So let's see. Audun. Edmund. Ironbones. What a great... Okay. Frey. Brand. Firstborn. Hjalmar. Toft. Bearheart. All those like work so well together. Oh my god. Oh my god, bruh. Come on. Love this. Oh my, this just changed up again, but it gives that tone so well. It's like very dark black seas, and you get this gruffness with like almost brush strokes here, but you don't have the fine detail of like what would look like penmanship necessarily, so much as you would like brushwork, and you get that with all these small indications here, and then the general brushing there as well. It's so kind of haunting. Like, this is the spirit of the lost souls there that could have been on the Viking journey, you know? C'est la vie. So good. So good. Oh, my God. New gear. Boats. Oaths. Reinforcements. Okay. So you got Freya's Omen. Thor's Thunder. God, I gotta do Zines more. And again, these images are just beautiful. The islands of Andrik. Seasons in sea travel. Isles of Andrik and Key. Let's see. Skargat, door to Alfheim. And then the monsters. Love it. I love the dot work on this. Again, it makes it feel so gritty when you see dot work on black and white art that you can see. Drake Greater. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Look how horrifying this guy has got abs for days. You want a 6-pack or the 8-pack. Bro still got his pack going up to his tail. Come on, though. All right. Then you got a Draugr, a Dverg, Valkyrie, Horde of the Sea Wolf King. And this is, and then this is the location, the adventure you can then play. I love that there's stuff like this just ready to go. I'll go into the zines. Oh my god, look at that. I love how there's shadow work, and shadow work that covers details that you would see of a face and barely indicated by like little tufts of mustache, and then the beard dotted there with bits of light. So good. So good. Oh my god. And then I guess I gotta get through this. I'm almost through this, guys. Alright. So let's see this. This, my friends. And I got the normal edition. I didn't get the leather-bound edition. I just got the normal edition. Leather-bound one is probably going to feel much nicer. And if it's still available, oh my god, I might actually want to get that one, to be honest. You get your own dungeon screen. You know, it's so funny, Ice, that I've had multiple dungeon screens at this point for different systems. And I feel like they're actually useful as like being a general go-to guide for like really quick resources, but I don't feel like I need to then put it in front of my players anymore for like secret rules. You can still do that, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something about being able to then quick reference the rules that I really appreciate. It's very good. It's really good feel too. It's fairly strong. Let's see. Okay, does it stand up? Let's see for a second. Yep, stands up quite fine. It's in 4 sections. Actually, it's actually quite small, or smaller compared to other ones. I don't have another dungeon screen here, but this one I think is about 8.5 inches or so. 8.5 inches. And yeah, let's see. We have NPCs, the age, ancestry, alignment, wealth, and characteristics. Name by syllable. That's interesting. So, oh, that's so good. So, in case, I love that because it's a problem for GMs everywhere where you have to then all of a sudden make up a name for someone that you just met on the fly. And you're just like, I didn't plan for this. Their name is Denoncius. And there, you got a new name. And that's really cool. I actually really appreciate that. That's really helpful, especially for random character generators, too. And then they got an occupation. Love that. Love that. Then, let's see, random encounter frequency. You got the frequency of those random encounters. Love that. The distances, activity, reactions, the treasure, the types of treasure. Always love random treasure. XP for treasure quality. And then you have, let's see, different types of treasure for the... So poor, bag of silver, use dagger, knuckle, bone, dice. Fabulous, magic sword, giant diamond, a mithril chainmail. I love that they are just general go-tos for getting to understand how systems like this work without having to necessarily go through $50 books to then reference something immediately. And then you got luxury items here, ones that are golden, a stained glass, ivory, a painting of a ruler, a hero, a bard. Love that. Oh my god, I love that. So this... What I'm noticing here that's so interesting is that this helps with improvisation in terms of a lot of roleplay and really leans into the randomness of the charts. It's not really going over the rules of, let's say, what do you do for climbing? What do you do for swimming? What do you do for travel? What do you do for sleeping? How much of your materials are expired by this day? It's not going over that. It's going over the fun of randomness with you in this. And to help you just simply come up with something on the fly as you need it. By the way, I gotta see the whole thing. Oh my god, this looks beautiful. This looks beautiful. Look at this. I love how the line art goes with all of it, and it all flows from one scene to another. So this kind of frog monster-esque creature going all the way down here, and you can see it that is part of the cavern here, and this cavern is also part of this area where there's this kind of looming wizard or mage over these people in the shrub area, and that the shrub area continues into this area here where there's then adventurers who've now encountered this monster spider, and then I'm guessing maybe a mage and or a thief coming down the stairs of this kind of I was about to say underdark area. Yeah, I love how foreboding it all looks and how gritty it looks. It feels like you're about to encounter death around the corner. But it's fun, because it's all just, hey, you just make another character and just, boom, go at it again. And I love how it all folds up into then folding in on itself. I don't like that about the Morkborg. What was it? What was I going to say? Game screen. I think it has 5. Now, the pictures on it are beautiful, and I love all the random charts that it has, but I don't like the fact that it does leave one board folding outwardly. In other words, it leaves like one of the inside pieces of information folded outwards. That's another thing. I'll just get to that another time. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, bum 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 bum. Ooh, it's actually a bit thick. Shadowdark. And we have this beholder, or I don't know what the appropriate copyright name is yet, on the front. Boom. Boom. And the arcane library symbol on the back. Very nice. Shadowdark. I love how simple this is. Oh, it's quite nice in terms of the texture, too. It doesn't feel like the gloss that you'd find on a D&D book. Let me see. Oh, yeah, and it has, like, paper on the inside. I love that there's charts on the inside. I love the fact that people who are part of these Kickstarters and indies scenes are taking advantage of how to better construct TRPG books. Have things on the inside of your book bindings, of your initial, not page, but I guess cover, just immediately getting into this. Weapons and armor type. Difficulty class, let's see. XP for treasure, NPC names by ancestry, all this stuff. Random encounters, languages, activity, reactions. Difficulty class, morale, dying, spell focus. Okay. Ooh, this is actually fairly hefty. More so than I thought it was going to be. That's interesting. Okay, so this is so it has 325 pages here on the inside. If you're not counting this, so there's 325 pages of reading that you can do. There is the initial Shadowdark NPC or character that you can build, and I love how easy this is. I just love how easy this is. You just get a little bit better on the journey, no matter where you go. Then join the Shadowdark community. Difficulty class, morale. You have the art, and then I love that these are the art. This is actually a really important one. One of the things I wish Wizards of the Coast did better with its artists, and especially anybody who contributes art, even if they're paid, to any TRPG, is the accreditation of it, and then specifically referencing what art belongs to what artist. I am actually really happy that Kelsey, I don't know why I just remembered her name at the same time that I then saw this, I'm really happy that Kelsey has taken the time to then show the pages belonging to each artist. I think that that's actually a really good standard that people should have for the consideration for artists, and especially during the age of AI as well. So good on you. I'm really happy to see that. Let's see, contents, Shadowdark, the basics, overview, starting level, source of magic, gameplay, game master, monsters, treasure. And I'm assuming that most of this goes through the same kinds of mechanics as D&D. Now, I will admit, I have to go through. I have to get to getting some food soon, so I can't stay here forever. But the treasure they found, okay, let's see. They were crawlers, and so they dared the lost halls of the Shadowdark. They went down through the old trap door in the rusty mug's cellar, greasing the owner's palm with a few silver drems. Drems, what a nice word. First came the spiders, prickling legs, burning fangs, then they descended on the silent threads of the dark high ceilings. Krieg finally burned the skittering devils to ash with blasts of magical fire. The carved stone walls grew denser, darker. Iraga almost had lost her head to a scythe snapping out of the wall. It was Ralina who found the hidden door behind a demonic statue, and so they went deeper. The worked stone turned to damp cavern walls. Distant hisses and screams echoed in the pitch black, and leather-winged abominations swooned in with hooked talons, tearing at Jorben's shield and flesh. But the treasure they found! Dusty gold coins stamped with forgotten emperors, fat rubies dangling from silver chains, glittering swords plucked from the hands of moldy skeletons. Soon the torches grew thin, the wounds grew numerous, the magic grew weak. The crawlers had met their true foe. It was all around them, never slowing, never sleeping, never ending. It was the Shadowdark, and the fight had only just begun. Great intro to this. It reminds me again of like Morkborg into like when they, just all of it. It's like a flavor one. Morkborg's a lot of flavor, but Morkborg has the weary traveler, will you venture there? I remember that. That's such a good way to open it. All right, the basics: describe an action, movement, rounds, dice, stats, checks, hit points. What's next? A lot of this is kind of commonist. God, such beautiful artwork. This really is just absolutely beautiful when you get down to it. The pockets that you find in from the degradation, no, from the decrepitness of the pillars that have been eaten away by time, just the distilling of ancient glory now forgotten to the mercenaries who must now pluck and plunder what they can from its forgotten legends, its halls, its treasure coves. Characters, both the wise and foolish risk the fortunes in the Shadowdark. The darkness decides who is who. Alignment and deity, title, background stats, attacks, spells, gear. And the starting level. 0 level characters. I love that there is a 0 level character. Some games begin with 0 level characters, so this is a kind of nod to Dungeon Crawl Classics, I'd say, in part. Weak peasants who have not attained their skills requiring to be adventurous. 0 level characters are fragile. GMs should see the Gauntlet on page 116 for more insight. So I think that that's, again, Kelsey drawing from like the OSR scene as well, or at least being inspired by it for like the 0 level like kind of funnels that Dungeon Crawl Classics has. Just fun and being able to then grab something real quick and then go at it. Ancestries, dwarf, elf, goblin, half-orc, human, halfling. Really basic. Fighter class. Fighter's a fighter, we know that. Priest class, thief class. I'll go through all this much more in depth. All right. Wizard class, background, alignment, deities, titles. I love how much there is. Languages. Thanian. That's an interesting one. Thanian. Minotaurs, beastmen, and manticores. I have never heard of the word Thanian. Marin, that kind of makes sense. Merfolk, Sahaugen, and Sirens. The other ones I've heard of before. Thanian, that's new to me. Okay, starting gear, AC, torch, and then you get caltrops. That's fun. Gear, basic gear, gear slots. You can play with gear slots, which is a good thing of keeping track that you don't get too much gear. Character names, again, love character names, love them, love them. Random character generator. Love that. Magic. And I love that. Here's the other thing I like. So lessons learned. Keep everything on 2 pages. Do not have spill over. The OSR and independent creators and every Kickstarter that I've seen so far has been really good in terms of the OSR scenes. There's been some that have been for like more mainstream-esque things that I won't get into. But basically, I'm glad that this is a thing where people take note of being able to use really good font that draws your eyes, only getting the details if you just want general details, keeping everything to what I remember Ben from Questing Beast said as being control panel layout. You can just take something and then put it in. No spill over from this over to this. Even though, look at this. This is language, right? Language. R. I don't know what R is supposed to stand for in this case, because I got to actually go over this. Oh, I guess this, and maybe this is supposed to be chaotic, right? Or something, or this is rare. Sorry, this is rare. And then this is common. Language here. So they're categorized differently, and you can then use them differently too. Random characters. Oh, what an amazing, what a grueling adventure. Just withered, old, weathered face, crinkled up, gritting his bottom teeth to just get what he's come for. Love that. They got critical successes. Wizard mishaps. I love the fact that there's mishaps in here because it then makes, one, using spells much more dangerous, even though they're very cool. And if I remember, wizards can actually have, and the spell tier list is really good. Really like that the spell list is here. Then you have the spells themselves. And there's quite a bit. It's always interesting. There's always quite a plethora of different like spells you can get to in almost all the TRPGs that I've seen. Dungeon Crawl Classics is a huge one. Wish? Wow. He got Wish there. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. These creepy crawlies. I'm going to say they're carcass crawlers. Maybe there's a different word for them. But these centipedes, these millipedes that are giant and then about to end these adventurers that came in here, they're fighting for their life. Just basically trying to get some form of treasure against these monsters. Woo. Oh, that's so interesting. And so then there's more of the lore that goes on. Krieg lifted his guttering torch high. The light danced over the stone, and doom loomed before him. What time is it? Oh, okay. I've already gone on quite long for this, so let's see. Rolling dice, luck tokens. Like the idea of luck tokens. So that's, I'm assuming, sometimes the GM awards a luck token to a player for exceptional role-playing heroism or just plain coolness. So something like cool points or bottle caps if you watch Glass Cannon, or something like... what else? Yeah, like luck tokens in this case. Or just inspiration points for then role-playing a character, doing something that's within the world and not just maybe necessarily a min-maxing or being creative is then rewarded with something that is dependent on human judgment, a.k.a. the GM's judgment. And I really like that. Then let's see. Oop. So we got luck tokens. Using stats, making checks. Most people know this. If you know D&D, you know how to do these things. Time, turn order, time passes, turns and rounds. Minutes pass, hours and days pass. Effects with duration to rounds expire. The GM rolls one random encounter that occurs on a 1 to 3 on a d6 while this time is passing. So this is for minutes passed. Hours, days pass. Effects with duration shorter than the past expire. GM uses overall land travel rules to check for this encounter to occur. Okay, interesting. So there are some versions of land rules here. Neat. Crawling. So you got light sources, and then you have total darkness, and vision, and movement. I like that. Okay, so I remember about the light sources being an important point to the Shadowdark as well. That you have to then take into consideration that, like, I think it was like 1 hour is like one light source or something. So you have to make do with your time. You're going to get in and get out. Otherwise, you're going to start seeing all these other creepy crawlies get the better of you. Overland travel, downtime. Carousing, so actually spending your money or well-spent, well-earned things to then have some kind of outcome. A worthy night of drinking and festivity. A 3-day voyage in its finest food. Drink and gambling and the like. Okay. You're locked in the stocks for 1d4 days and find 20% of your total wealth for setting a building on fire. I saw this number 2 over here. Love that. Okay. You survived a blindfolded knife throwing demonstration unscathed. It gained 4 XP and a luck token. I love that. Okay. Wizards and Thieves. Interesting. And so you have an example of play. That's fantastic. I love that Kelsey included that here. Beautiful. Sitting down and then talking about the plan here, just like players would, but then showing the character view of it. Then you got the game master, your role, the players. There's an ethos. There's on balance, running the game, not the enemy. You are not the enemy, and you try to set the tone. I like that. Let there be darkness, and so here's the thing: light mishaps that you have there. That's quite good too. Then got random encounters that go. And the random encounters are everywhere. Your traps, hazards, the gauntlet. Game masters can use a process called the gauntlet to determine the player's starting characters. Gauntlet works best when the player uses random character generation process to create 4 0-level characters for each. So this is very much like what Dungeon Crawl Classics already has for a lot of its adventures. Awarding XP. There's rumor. Something happened. What happened? Rumors. Adventures. Something I like about this is I'm going through this is that I can clearly see each outlined. How can I put this? I can clearly see each section of the book. I'm not having to look through and then discern with like a kind of gray or how can I put this peachish text that I see sometimes from other TRPGs. Dungeons and Dragons being one, but I see this with either Kobold Press and sometimes Pathfinder, I think. And honestly, this just juts out at me as being immediately interesting. And I know what it is. NPC names. Shadowdark maps, fantastic. Overland hex maps, settlement maps. Taverns, shops. Brilliant. And this is one of the characters right here. I remember seeing this that you saw there. I think they're a dwarf thief or something like that. Oh, and then you have like little scenes here where there's a wizard leading a donkey into like something or other. Then you have a trap here. Someone's falling into it. They're running away from these kind of eldritch bat creatures from a dark figure. And, there's more dark figures down here. They're casting some kind of ritual to a Cthulhu-esque creature. And then you have, the adventurers on the other side, right down there. So interesting. Then you have stuff for the Arctic, an artisan district, castle district, cave, deep tunnels, desert, forest, grassland, high district, jungle, low district. Oh my god, look at this. Market. And just keeps going on. I'll try to then say it out loud. Mountain, ocean, ruins, river and coast. Slums, swamp, tavern, temple district, tomb, university district. Oh, this is so great. And here's the front of it. Our beloved beholder there. I forgot what the name is that we're using for Shadowdark here, but let's keep going. The beast, a monstrous beast. There's a monster generator. Make it weird. Oh, that's so cool. Make it weird with different ideas, extra limbs, life-draining touch, and a toxic spore. That's so cool. And then you got all the monsters here that you would probably need to then use it. Aboleth, Acolyte, and a lot of these I'm betting are very much so the SRD that you could use. Or just simply general ones. Berserker, Brain Eaters, Bugbears, Chimeras, Chul, Cloakers, a Deep One, Demons, a Merilith of Rock. So interesting that those names are like not copywritten names. I've never heard them before like D&D. Dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs, of course. Brachiosaurus, Genie, Doppelganger, Drow, Dryad, Efreeti, Elementals, Elephants, Giants, Goblins. So you can see that a lot of these are basically the same. God, and the art is so good. They're the same. It's basically the old school version of D&D, but attuned to make it easier for people to Mordankis the Flayed. Oh, is this supposed to be the guy on the leather-bound version? That's so cool. He has his whole area here for him. Long have I held the weighty secrets of Gehenna. Okay, not Gehenna, but Gehenna. Very close there. An age-old litany inscribed on my weary soul, Mordankis the Flayed. So Gehenna is supposed to be the other word that's sometimes used for hell in some versions of Christianity. But Gehenna actually, in reality, is a place in Israel. It sometimes gets understood as being hell because that's where a heaven and hell dynamic happens within Christianity. But, Judaism doesn't have a hell, so Gehenna's literally a place. But that's interesting that Gehenna is used as being a wording there. Okay, then just a Naga, Mummy. So good. Orc Otyug. Love this. And so, yeah, you have basically a horde of different monsters that you can then use. Oh, I love this. The Tara. Oh, this is like the size of a mountain. I love that this gives the size comparison to everything else. This looks like a mountain, but lizard-like in its own construct. I love that it gives that appearance so that you can have a feeling of like how overwhelming and hopeless this is to defeat this thing. Like you'd have to be a high level or something like that to then even give it a try. Whites, zombies, etc. Oh, maybe this is the guy. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that's not Mordankis. This is the guy on the cover of the leather-bound edition, I remember. Then there's different treasures. Treasures from levels 4 to 6, 7, 9, 10 up. You got mundane items, boons that you can get, magic items, the types of armor, potions, scrolls, wands, utilities, weapons, item personality if it's an intelligent item, designing magic items. So that's fun too. And all these are very, very basic rules for then doing this. I really like this because it takes from a lot of different genres, not only old school genres, like the old school idea of D&D, but also like the theme of Morkborg and its darkness, and then also the fun parts of like Dungeon Crawl Classics, Mirror of Mischief. So these are examples of types of magic items you can get. True name, Join the Dark. Here's the shot. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey! All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me with this. I'm so excited to actually get to play this with other people. It gets people into it so clearly, so fast. You got immediately ready-made characters. You got rules that are incredibly light. The vast majority of this book, honestly, is random table generation. Very similar to Knave in that regard. And I think that's a good thing. Just being able to make it a kind of regular game instead of necessarily a whole campaign is one of the beauties that I think this kind of genre can bring. And actually, before I completely give up on everything. Okay. So then, guys, in case you haven't gotten it, get Shadowdark. I'm really excited to play this, and I want to actually break my friend group in with this and introduce them to something that's going to be much more lighthearted and just kind of, nonchalant. with all the shenanigans of like Dungeon Crawl Classics with its funnel, but this one called the Gauntlet, and yeah, everything else. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a happy New Year, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and best to you. I'll see you guys in 2024. This is Multiculturalist James. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.